What's up, everybody? It's Larry Valley. I'm going to be doing some front wheel bearing hub assemblies on a 2007 Toyota Tacoma 4Runner. It's not too hard of a job. Should take about an hour each side. Let's get started. What's up, everybody? It's a nice and early morning out in SoCal. About to get started on the front wheel bearing hub assembly. So on this particular model, you can't just take out the wheel bearings. You have separately from the hub. It's one piece, which makes it, in my opinion, kind of easier, because a lot easier. So you don't have to press anything. Yeah, we're shaking right here. Wheel bearing is bad. Signs and symptoms of a bad wheel bearing: shaking. A lot of shaking, vibration, almost feels like an unbalanced tire. But the thing with an unbalanced tire is that you'll feel it at higher speeds after 40 miles an hour a lot. With the wheel bearing, it's at all speeds. All right, so I'm gonna do both sides. It's only the front right, but what you do to one side, you want to do the other. The parts have been on the same amount of time, and unless you're trying to save money, like you don't have the money at all, like you don't have it, then I understand. But if you have the money, but you don't want to spend it, because if not, the other side's gonna fail, and at the same time, you're gonna be putting more pressure on the other side because you have one new part and one older part. So switch both sides. Okay, everybody. This isn't a hard job, but it's not an easy one. You gotta take the rotor off, just because it's a truck. So, in order to get to the wheel bearing hub assembly, so you gotta take these two off, which are 17s. These are actually for the brake caliper. These two are for the brake rotor. These ones are a little bit harder to get out. They're gonna be seized off, so use some penetrating oil. This is for the caliper bracket, or the line to hold it in for the line. Then you gotta take off, there's 4 nuts right there. We gotta take off, or 4 bolts. And so I use a 17. What you want to do is you want to spin, well, first, before that, you want to take, in order to get the rotor off, some people use the right depth and thread pitch of screw to get these two off, but I use a hammer. So to separate the wheel bearing hub, you want to use a 17, and then use an open end 17 until you once you can't, there's no more room. Make sure it's separated from the hub from back here, which it is on all 4 sides, which it is. Completely go as far back as you can on all 4 bolts. And then once you do that, you could get a pry bar or a screwdriver that fits, put it in right here and hammer it. I don't even need to hammer it, look. Well, as of right now, it's using this little tiny screwdriver. I mostly did all the work when I got it out with these nuts right here. You just want to make sure these bolts are separated. It won't be hard. You won't have to use a slide hammer like some other people say. There you go. No. Want to go evenly around. It's about to separate. Almost there. I'm just using a little tiny screwdriver. There it is, guys. There it is. This part is faulty. It's bad. Hey, Carlos. Good morning, brother. This one, your new wheel bearing hub assemblies are from the United Kingdom, bro. They're really good. That's your new one. That's your old one right there. It's quite a job, brother. I got the first one out for you. Keep going strong. Okay, you guys want to make sure that you clean the mating surface. I mean, just this is at minimum. What you need to do, get you some, I don't have any brake clean. I'm gonna clean all around it. That's the old bearing. This is the new bearing. It's FKG from UK. FKG. Let's make sure it's the same exact bearing. And I'm gonna have to get this cap off, which is gonna be fairly simple. All I have to do is put the screwdriver in like that. And heat it down. Alright guys, the next part of this job is just the hardest, because you have to line this up with this and hold it up at the same time, unless you have somebody to help you. And if it's by yourself, it's going to be a little bit difficult, but just make sure you get each bolt in threaded. You don't strip anything, hand tighten everything, and then just torque and reassemble, and then get started on the other side. I'm doing this for a good client of mine, so I don't want to spend too much time, and I'm probably not going to show the other side, but yeah, once you get it lined up, you want to make sure you put the cap back on. But what it does is it keeps all the wheel bearing grease in, it keeps all the dirt out, moisture, contaminants from getting in, etc. You want to get this done pretty snug. Just bolt everything back on. And you want to do this in a star pattern. So like either with like there, or there. Doesn't really matter. But just make sure you torque everything down back together. Now I just need to clean it. Alright everybody, I'm getting ready to put the second side on. The first side I didn't show you guys with this flash screen. You want to make sure that you take it off and put it on the same way, or else you're going to have to repeat taking the hub off and reassembling it back on again. So clean it off, it's going to go like that. Then the new hub is going to go on. Let's see if I can show you this. So what you want to do, you want to put the splash screen on and the hub at the same exact time, pre-lined up as best as you can. And you can use some electronic cleaner to clean the vehicle, the wheel speed sensor. I like to get these, you see these, the insignia at the bottom, and then I'm gonna take this, pre-match it. See, the studs are coming out through the back, and then that way you can set it and start hand tightening it. And at the same time, you can see the threads. Because if you don't do that, you're gonna have to try to put the threads through the studs through the to match the threads and blind this, because you're gonna have that shield blocking. So once you do that, you want to start tightening with your 17. I got it hand tightened. I did get the threads on, so that's all I did. Yeah. So little by little, you want to make sure this thing is on flush, and you want to just do outer with a star pattern, inner, outer. So outer, inner, outer right there. So I'm still holding it, even though I got the threads in there. 2 of them already. Let me see. 3 of them. Sometimes the threads will come out, that's why I still hold it up. Part of the whole job, and taking off the rotor bolts because they're seized on there. And make sure you use some WD-40 for puncturing it well. What I like to do is I get it started by hand, and then when it gets too tight, I use the wrench, and then normally it loosens up a little bit because the threads are going in. And I do it by hand again. That way it doesn't take so long to do it. That's why I'm alternating between the wrench and my hands. So it should start going in very easily. Going from there and to here. You want to make sure that the bearing goes in flush with the spindle. This is the spindle assembly. This is the hub and wheel bearing assembly. And I'll go here. And then here. I'm gonna take this whole cap off and put it on here. Like all this. That's pretty much it, guys. Just gonna reassemble. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Please subscribe and like. See you later. Okay, everybody. Now that the job is done, I'm gonna go and test drive the vehicle. I already test drove it after I did the problematic side, which was the passenger right side front. I just did the driver's side left front. Now I just scanned the vehicle, make sure there are no new problems that arose from the last time I worked on it. Just a courtesy scan. I'm probably gonna do an inspection as well. One thing I didn't mention is if you're a beginner or intermediate in vehicles, especially in auto maintenance, you want to definitely just do one side at a time, just in case you have to refer back to the other, in case you forgot or you had to take a break or you just had like a brain lapse. All right, guys, Larry Valley. Please subscribe, like, have a good day. Bye-bye.